Everyone, and welcome to the University of East London. The arrival, the event for School of Arts and Creative Industries. We have today with us Beatrice, Dr. Natalie Garret, who is the dean of the school, and Rosemary Stott, here with us to provide you with some and to answer your questions regarding your course, the school, what facilities are provided at the school, what can you expect in terms of teaching, and what is the university doing in different areas of the school that we related to today. So thank you everyone for joining us. So before I get into asking questions to our to the who've joined us today, I would also encourage everyone who is watching us to post their questions in the chat so we can pick them up, and the faculty here can guide you and can answer the questions as well. So, to quickly start on with it, thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Natalie, Rosemary, and Beatrice. It's a pleasure having you here on the platform today. Um, just to kickstart the session, could you please provide us with an introduction about yourself, what you do at the university, and also what are your interests and achievements as well, please?
Shall I kick off? Because I'm kind of here with two hats on, so I can cover two things all in one. So I'm Natalie Garret-Brown. I am Dean of the School here in the Arts and Creative Industries at the University of East London. My background is in performing arts and dance specifically. So I also have knowledge and kind of interest as well of what's also going on in the performing arts offer that we have in the school. So I'm here to answer any questions that's specific to that. Like my colleagues on the call, I've kind of been working in higher education and across into the industry for a number of years. And we're all really passionate about what higher education can offer people who want to go into our industries, both in terms of a community of practice, networking, and getting those industry connections. So maybe I'll stop there and pass over to Beatrice.
Thanks, Natalie. So hi, everyone. I'm Beatrice Newman. I'm the head of department for fashion in the School of the Creative Arts and Industries. Apart from being the head of fashion, I'm also the course leader of fashion design. And I oversee a range of fashion courses within the cluster, ranging from design, marketing, business, also sustainability and culture. And my own practice, just like Natalie, is within academia, but also spans across industry too. I have my own fashion brand, which has been running for almost 10 years now. And I've had successes dressing the likes of VIPs, not just from UK or Europe, but also in the Americas and also Africa. And I'm consistently just working in production and made to order. So a lot of my experience spans into sort of entrepreneurship and business, which we teach our students here at UEL and preparing them to be industry ready, as well as unique creatives ready for the fashion industry. So that's it kind of from me. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. I'll pass over to Rosemary.
Thank you. Over to you, Rosemary. Could you just give us an introduction about what you do at the university? What are your achievements as well, please?
Hello everyone, my name's Rosemary Stott and I'm the Head of Department of Media here at the University of East London. So media is a thriving area here, but it spans a number of courses in film and media, games and journalism. But my own area and my own background is in film, and I'm also interested in the pedagogy or the teaching of film and media, and I've researched in that area as well as being an internationally known scholar in film history, in particular the diplomacy and politics of film, the censorship of film, and I've published widely in those areas. I've been here at the University of East London for 2 years and managing a team of very industry-focused academics. That's one of our key focuses here at the university, to make sure that you can graduate and hit the ground running when it comes to your industry knowledge. And in those areas that I mentioned, we've got many academics who span their knowledge and experience of the industry with their academic interest.
Lovely. Thank you so much for telling us what the achievements are. And to all our viewers, the faculty that we have at the University of East London is so well versed with what they're doing. Is so uh, um, it's so they're so knowledgeable about what exactly they're teaching. So we always stay on trends. So it's a thing that to pick up that yes, we as a university are always staying on trends with what's going on in the industry. So that's a wonderful thing. Thank you so much. My next question would be what research is the School of Arts and Creative Industries conducting in the fields of fashion, media, and performing arts? So, just so that we can have an idea about what's the kind of research that we are actually doing. So, that would be great to know. Maybe Beatrice could start with it. Probably in
Okay.
the fashion industry, that we what kind of research are we looking at in the fashion industry, please?
Yeah, sure. So sustainability is the big buzzword right now in fashion. And we have some amazing technicians and staff who are leading the way in biomaterials, and using new resources and machineries that we've actually recently acquired, thanks to the help of Dean, to really support growth in that area. Not only sustainability in materials and fabrications there, but also really in business, which is a point where I think we sometimes forget. Um, and sustainability in business that sort of brings into mind culture, ethics, how we treat our workers, and really how do we go about conducting our business for sustainability and building mental wealth, not just mental health. We're also working a lot within fashion design. So I mentioned I have my own business, and there are a couple of other academics who are working on building their own businesses and brands. So they are part of London Fashion Week, for instance. So as you mentioned, Nishi, we're very on trend. So everything that we're learning in our businesses and within the industry is always sort of implemented within our curriculum as well to support our students when they graduate. And an area of sort of expertise for me and study at the moment is entrepreneurship and business. So that acumen that doesn't necessarily get passed down to creators, and how we're really building that into the curriculum too, not just within fashion actually, but also within media and music writing and performing arts. And then lastly, I'd also say digital fashion. COVID hasn't been great for a lot of us, but it has brought opportunities where we're beginning to see spaces in the digital market. So we're preparing our students with new software that we've brought in, such as Clo 3D, just to really support their digital acumen.
That's lovely. Thank you so much, Beatrice. And so just what is your thought about sustainability and like you mentioned that the university has introduced new equipments to for the production, so which is helping us towards sustainability. So what is your thought about the fast moving fashion and sustainability? So do they go hand in hand? What would you be your thought about that?
Uh, I think it's a bit of a difficult question because we can't stop fast fashion or mass production. It is really part and parcel of business and growth. I think it's really about ethics when you start to think about mass production. And what we teach our students is that sort of business economy and understanding what that actually means. And then how they really go about their business, because all they get to see is the finalized product or businesses that have been established for over 50 years, and then automatically think they need to be working on that level, when in actual fact, there is a process that they need to go through. So even when you graduate, it's not about really establishing a brand straight away. It's about using the tools such as social media and e-commerce websites that we didn't have 10 years ago, for instance, to really set a mark for yourself, learn about the different processes in business and build yourself up that way. And that for me is, part of the whole sustainability conversation, and it's not just about, you know, utilizing all of the money and resources that you have to create something that's really not sustainable for the future and not great for the environment. I also wanted to say, Nishi, that my colleagues Natalie Brown and Rosemary Stott have a lot of research in their area. I wouldn't want to skip over them, so they might want to comment on that as well. Sorry to put you on the spot, guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll definitely come to performing arts as well, and we will also come to media. We will not miss that for sure. So, over to Rosemary, please. What kind of research are we conducting as a university in the field of media and journalism, please?
Thanks, Nishi. So in media and journalism, I think one of the most outstanding features of our research is where we cross the boundaries between those areas that I mentioned. And we're very future focused. If you think of games, film and media, those boundaries are blurring. The industries themselves, we've talked a lot in recent years about the convergence of those industries. So journalism, for example, is no longer just about print, about producing newspapers on paper, of course. It's really merged into the whole area of social media, media management, and there's even virtual journalism now. So that's very much where our research lies. And as a student as well, if you come to East London, you will have a specific course. You will be studying, for example, perhaps you're interested in sports journalism. So you'll understand that and you'll be a specialist in that. But you'll also know how journalism works in the different media. So, you know, the visual media, broadcast media, as well as the writing side of journalism. So that's very much where our research is moving forward, breaking those boundaries, I'd say.
Great.
But maybe I'll say a little bit more about the virtual. Maybe that'd be a nice handover to Natalie, because one of the focuses across our school now is on the virtual space. And that's where we are investing now in terms of our facilities as well. So we do have an ambition to bring our students together. For example, in Natalie's area, the actors, there's virtual production where games, film and acting is coming together, virtual theatre. So that's where we've been focusing our efforts in the last year or two, and that has been accelerated, I'd say, by the pandemic. So if you think about the area of film, was pushed, you know, production was pushed into the virtual space, but that's been a positive thing because it's actually stretched that industry into thinking how you can do things if you're not on a physical set. How can you actually produce media and film via the virtual space? And then, of course, it becomes a global industry much more. Games is another big area that's actually benefited from the pandemic. So that's very much the areas that we're looking at. So I'll hand over to Natalie, that one maybe.
Yeah, thanks, Rose. You've done a lot of work for me there in outlining stuff. So maybe just to kind of round off of what else is going on. So in the performing arts area, obviously that's everything from music to dance to acting, as Rosemary's just outlined there, and performing arts more broadly. So in that space, definitely in the virtual production and kind of online mediatized performance, one of our areas. And we also have a really strong practice around applied theatre, applied performance. So that means, you know, working with different communities. We're really established in East London as professionals in our area. And so we have lots of both practice professional orientated projects where our students can get involved in, and research projects which are looking at the impact of the arts in different communities and how they can shift either thinking or social, in the kind of social justice place. So that's another key area, and kind of folding back to what Beatrice noted about the kind of business entrepreneurial aspect. We also have colleagues, staff and student and alumni that are really strong in that space. So that's another area where I think we kind of shine.
Wow, that was so insightful, honestly. Uh, Getting into the virtual space, that sounds really exciting. I mean, collaborating everything in one space, that is really something that we would be looking forward to as well. And the next question is, does social media play an important, or social media marketing or digital marketing, like we would say, does that play an important role in the industry? And how so? And what's of course we would have that in our curriculum. So like Beatrice also mentioned about that, we have been quite entrepreneurial, and we do have topics that cover entrepreneurship as well. So I think that is one s- excellent point to take from our courses, that you don't only learn your practical skills but also your entrepreneurial skills and also ethics as well. So in terms of social media and digital marketing, what kind of role do they play in our industry today?
I'm happy to maybe talk from a fashion perspective and then segue onto my other colleagues. But for fashion, I think it plays a tremendous role because fashion is very visual. And especially with Instagram, it's a great way for, we talk about entrepreneurism and business, it's just a great way to get your work out there. There are issues around copyright and IP, which we're actually tackling at the moment within UEL. But within fashion, if anyone has their own business or has been looking into it, will realize it's actually a really complicated thing. So what we try and teach our students is developing their USP and their unique quality as an entrepreneur and also as a creative. And we've seen some great successes come through Instagram, where, for instance, one student who graduated 2 years ago was really scared to put her stuff out there, and the teachers were really encouraging. She posted it and it went viral in a matter of a couple of weeks. So she started off with, let's say, a few hundred, and now her business has grown within 2 years to over 31K followers. And she's been advertised by a Depop, etc. We still have great connections with her, and her business is booming. And this is what we want to see at UBL. And when you reach that size, copyright and everything else doesn't become an issue anymore, because what you've done is really established yourself as a brand.
Thank you.
Maybe I can pick up from that, because obviously in media, social media is part of our curriculum. So it is what you will study. So if you're passionate about social media, maybe consider a degree within the media area. And an exciting development that's starting in September, we're actually got a new course now on stream in social media, so a BA social media. So that's for those people who really want to make that their main focus. But I think all our students in the arts and creative industries need to learn social media, because being in those industries is about self-promotion. You need to know yourself as brand, but also about networking, and you have to be out there. And so we teach all our students as part of our curriculum that aspect. But as I say, in my area in particular, I mentioned journalism, for example, and the boundaries blurring between journalism and social media. You know, a lot of journalists today, they are functioning, or their business is through social media. So yeah, I mean, it's absolutely key to our school and what we do at UEL.
Yeah, and same for the performing arts industry, music industry. There's lots of ways that both people promote themselves inside those social media channels, but also it is part of the industry. So if you're a performer, you're most likely to be involved in some kind of content production, whether it's for TikTok or whether it's for Facebook or whatever. So, you know, increasingly agents are casting through social media platforms. So all of that kind of embedding that as part of our everyday is very much part of our courses.
Great, lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. And another quick question would be, so what kind of career opportunities or what kind of support do teachers and the university provide to students? So once a student graduates, what kind when we talk about networking, like Rosemary rightly said, networking is quite essential. So when we talk about networking, what kind of networks does the university provide the students and that the students can benefit from after they graduate from our university?
Well, I think we've lost Natalie. Hopefully she'll come back.
Yeah, we lost
But
Natalie.
maybe I can start, and I'd say the School of ACI within UVL, I think does really well in this area and building partnerships with industry. I know Rosemary will probably talk on liaisons and agencies that are already set up within her area, so students are actually learning great industry experience whilst they study. But fashion in particularly, we've been working with great guest lecturers who are in the industry. We've got Cosette from Sibling, who was a great knitwear brand featured at London Fashion Week. She's now on the British Fashion Council, and she comes to see us and speak to our students about portfolio. We have a great icon in the British music industry called Princess Julia, who DJ'd for Dior, for instance, just the day before she came to see us, and also works with other universities. And so the fact that we're within that circle, I'd say it's pretty great for us. We have opportunities such as sandwich year and placements, which we really encourage our students to go into. So we've had placements at Vivian Westwood, and even abroad for some great couture companies, for instance. Can't think of them off the top of my head. I've got so many things going through it. But great partnerships as well within our actual projects that students get to develop as live briefs. So we've had FC UK, for instance. We've had the Covette Fashion in America, which is a great gaming, fashion gaming platform. So students are designing clothes for their avatars, which was great, and then actually selling them on the platform. And so much more opportunities. And you can definitely visit our website where you'll get to see more information on some of those industry partners. And I guess Rosemary wants to come in here.
This is so exciting to know. Honestly, I'm not
Yeah.
even joking.
Natalie's joining me here because we're in the same place. So yeah, I'll pick up from that, Beatrice. Very much about embedding the industry and the career opportunities from day one when you come to study with us. But I think in particular, Nisha, you were thinking about the alumni. So we have a very strong alumni network. We offer the opportunities for students to come back, to continue their businesses and to grow and to benefit really from all that the university has to offer. When you come to university, it's not just about the course that you study, but all the other opportunities. And Beatrice mentioned, alongside my courses, we run a creative agency called Schema, which gives students the chance to come. First of all, the project manager of that is always one of our graduates, and they're paid to come back and lead that agency, working with existing students on briefs that come in from the industry. So they're proper work, short-term freelance kind of contracts that we get for all sorts of media-related work. If there's anything you want to add, Natalie?
Probably just it's very similar in the performing arts area. There's lots of kind of opportunities as part of assessment to do work with industry or do projects that have been set up by industry. And we also have a number of alumni projects running at the moment where alumni are coming back and working with level sixes to prepare them for graduation and those skills that they need.
That is wonderful. So it's like we are giving back to where we learned from. That is so and also quite inspiring as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rosemary, Natalie, and Beatrice for joining us today, and thank you everyone for watching us today. Hope you watched this session. You watched this session and you have gained in quite insightful experience, and also quite a lot of knowledge about the courses that we offer, about the new courses that we're going to offer in media, like Rosemary mentioned, in social media mainly, if you want to study that subject. But yes, in the industry of fashion, media, and performing arts. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and we'll see you soon. Thank